countdown to SummerSlam is in full effect, and I actually felt bad about the lack of videos this summer, me only doing one every couple of weeks, so you're going to get 2 videos this week. Keep a lookout on the YouTube page in the next few days. You're going to have another one probably by the weekend. This is episode 139, and this is going to be an episode full of randomness, wrestling talk leading up to SummerSlam and what we're looking at current event-wise. Now, Raw, of course, this week was taped because all the boys are overseas. I absolutely hate taped Raws because the results come out so early in advance that everybody knows what's going to happen. I think the ratings will probably suffer a little bit of an effect from that because everybody knows the results. I'm sure I'll catch some clips or replays of Raw later on. But what we're going to look at here is the broad scope of things going into SummerSlam and what we can maybe expect and some speculation and discussion and shit like that. So anyway, it looks like right now, storyline-wise, there's still the ongoing issue with Brad Maddox and Vince McMahon and Triple H, and there might still be, I don't know, is Daniel Bryan's SummerSlam spot in question? It seems to me from what I've read, you know, Vince wants a bigger name to take on John Cena in LA at SummerSlam. Somebody, you know, a big superstar type level star, not somebody like Daniel Bryan, where Triple H and I think everybody else are pushing hard for Daniel Bryan, and it almost seems like there's some sort of little tug of war. Now, whatever the result of this is, I sure hope that it's just killing time for the 3 weeks until the pay-per-view, and Daniel Bryan is not going to lose his SummerSlam match. They've already started to advertise it. Throwing a third guy in there now or potentially changing it, I think could be catastrophic, and you are just asking for the fans to fucking riot. So I'm pretty sure that not even WWE is stupid enough to screw up this pretty big main event that everybody seems to be excited about. Now, I touched a little bit on the match in my last commentary, and my feelings still stay the same on this main event. I still don't know what the WWE is going to do, and honestly, I don't think any fans can sit there and say, oh, pretty sure they're going to do this, pretty sure they're going to do that. The way the WWE has been writing and booking things lately, I don't think they even know what the fuck's going on. Plus, they got to worry about leaks and shit now. I don't think WWE will even make their final decision until probably 24 hours before the show, and probably change their mind 3 or 4 times prior to that anyway. Now, the one scenario that I immediately squashed the minute I heard it was, Daniel Bryan beating John Cena and then Randy Orton cashing in the Money in the Bank. I think Orton might even be hurt, but if he's not, I think that was too obvious of a potential outcome. And I think, that might be something WWE's even throwing out there to throw off the leaks and stuff. But that seemed way too obvious. And plus, this SummerSlam seems to be built around Daniel Bryan's push. You're going to take all of that away from him, having Randy Orton cash in, and he wouldn't even be cashing in a surprising way. Remember what he said? He said, you will never see it coming. Well, good. Surprise the shit out of us. I don't want to see it coming, and I sure as hell don't want to see it coming at SummerSlam. I want to see this happen in some crazy setting, and I mentioned it on Facebook. A lot of people liked it. What if, and you could do this with any Money in the Bank winner, I would like to see as a current champion, a current world champion, show up at the new developmental facility that the WWE has been promoting the hell out of and showcasing and showing how badass it is. Wrestlers are always going down there to do tutorials and hang out for the day and meet the guys and sometimes work in some instances. So they always go down there and visit the developmental guys. So what if you just have John Cena, or Alberto Del Rio, whoever the hell champion is, go down there for the day, and one of the Money in the Bank winners like Randy Orton show up there and say, hey, I want to cash this shit in right now. We're going to have the match in one of these rings in front of this developmental talent. How fucking cool would that be? Yeah, it would be a different setting. It would remind me a lot of, the empty arena matches they've done back in the day. Mankind and Rock did one, and some stranger settings for WWE title matches, but this is one that's never been done. And it would help promote the new facility. It would give these, young future developmental stars the thrill of a lifetime to witness a world title change right in their own fucking gym. So maybe something like that really wouldn't be suited for the WWE title, but they could probably pull some shit off like that with the world title, since that's kind of a secondary title anyway. Have some angle like that with Sandow and Ziggler or Del Rio or, whoever the hell the champion is at the time. Do something like that. I think it would be kind of a cool idea. So it's one of my ideas I hope gets thrown in the WWE's lap somehow. They've already taken one of my ideas. A couple commentaries ago, I mentioned the possibility of a Stone Cold WrestleMania match, and I said, hey, who's to say he's going to wrestle CM Punk? What if he comes back to take on The Rock or Triple H or something like that? And I mentioned how Vince McMahon could possibly bring him in, since the rumor is that the Vince McMahon-Triple H feud is going to culminate at WrestleMania. Vince McMahon obviously can't wrestle at this age. At least I hope that he doesn't at WrestleMania. So if he has somebody work on his behalf, and he could bring somebody back like a Stone Cold to take on Triple H. And some people did not like the idea, thought it was stupid. And sure enough, a couple days later on the internet here, you see that exact same scenario being reported and talked about. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that's a good idea. Nobody said said it was a good idea. I just said that it was an idea, and it's something that I could completely see the WWE doing. But I'm with every other fan that thinks that the best opponent for Stone Cold would be CM Punk. That's what I would like to see. But just keep in mind, whoever Stone Cold wrestles, Stone Cold's going to win. So if you really want to see Stone Cold and CM Punk, you also want to see a wrestler that has not been in the ring in 10 years come back and beat one of the top 3 roster members. Do you really want to see that? Of course you do. You know why? Because your Attitude Era marks. But you know what? In a way, I am too, because even though I don't know how they would be able to book this with any other outcome other than CM Punk getting beat, I sure as hell would like to see that feud and that match, and I sure would like to see the promos leading up to the match. Those would be some spectacular Monday Night Raws. I mean, I thought The Rock and CM Punk had a great little feud earlier on in the year, and they did some great promos together. I can see CM Punk and Austin doing the same, and they're both so intense. It would just be phenomenal. But, you got to keep in mind, Austin's not going to come back after 10 years to a big high-profile match like this and lose. Of course he's going to win. So, is that really the smart thing to do, is to, have CM Punk lose 2 WrestleManias in a row to a couple guys that never fucking wrestle? And I think a rematch with Brock Lesnar or a rematch with The Undertaker are also possibilities for CM Punk at WrestleMania. So don't count those 2 guys out yet. But back to SummerSlam, back to the main event, back to Daniel Bryan versus John Cena. It seems to me as if the fans are not going to accept any other outcome in this match other than a Daniel Bryan victory. That is it. If this pay-per-view is a 10 out of 10 and you get to the main event and you have a 5-star match, but you have a John Cena victory, the whole pay-per-view is going to suck in their eyes. So all you corndog brains that want to see John Cena crucified, don't lose your shit if he fucking wins here. This is a very good possibility that he will. And if he does, I don't think you will have seen the last of Daniel Bryan. The WWE, I don't know, they just like fucking with the fans at this point. I can completely see them having John Cena somehow squeak out of this match with the title, but Daniel Bryan still getting the title. Now, remember the night after WrestleMania, everybody was so pissed off, or the day of WrestleMania, everybody was so pissed about the outcome of The Rock, and it was bullshit, and people were losing their fucking minds. The next night on Raw, they forgot all about it because Dolph Ziggler came out there, cashed in the Money in the Bank, and created one of the best moments of the year. So things can turn and change very quickly. Maybe they have John Cena only win at SummerSlam, only for Daniel Bryan to win the title at the next pay-per-view or the one after that or something like that. This is probably going to be a feud that's going to stretch out a couple of pay-per-views, because as of this Monday's Raw, from what I read on the results, they're still buddy-buddy, right? John Cena and Daniel Bryan are out there helping each other out, and they're celebrating together in the ring. They understand that they have a match against each other. There's little jabs being taken in some of their backstage promos, but for the most part, they've got a mutual respect for one another. John Cena chose Daniel Bryan because he feels he's the most over guy, he's the most deserving guy. It's all a very touching love story right now. But I have a feeling in the next week or two, especially next week when Raw is live again, that you're going to start seeing a little bit more friction between Daniel Bryan and John Cena and have this feud get a little bit dirty. It's not going to be, a dirty, bloody, hate-filled feud, but they're not going to be, butt buddies anymore. I mean, I think things are going to start getting a little bit more intense starting next Monday. It has to. I would like to see Daniel Bryan get the WWE title. I really would. I think the way he's over with the fans, he really is getting a really good reaction. He's generating a great reaction, and this is creating a lot of buzz. Love John Cena or not, he sure is in a lot of memorable fucking main events that the fans fucking get excited for. All the fans that hate John Cena cannot wait to see this match, and they're hoping to hell that Daniel Bryan makes John Cena tap out in the middle of the ring. Guess what? That's not going to happen. I would like to see Daniel Bryan win the WWE title. It would be really cool if he could win the WWE title at SummerSlam. I just don't know yet. I don't know if they're going to do that or not. I don't know if they're just going to give the fans that satisfaction and say, fine, here you go, shut the fuck up, here's your guy, he's got the belt now get off our fucking backs. Or if they're going to stick the pitchfork up your ass again and have John Cena win and have you lose your mind only for Daniel Bryan to get the title a little bit down the road. Who knows? Now, for all you fucktards that think I like the taste of John Cena's strawberry ice cream flavored cock, you're wrong. You know why? I want to see Daniel Bryan win the WWE title at SummerSlam. You got to be able to separate, my opinion or what I think the WWE might do from what I actually want to see happen. Just because I think the WWE might have John Cena win doesn't mean I want that to happen. I really want this opportunity for Daniel Bryan. This is a big stage. This is the second biggest pay-per-view of the year. LA, SummerSlam, big market, huge spotlight here. So if you ask me if the WWE is really serious about pushing this guy and they're recognizing how over he is, this is the stage you launch him on. I am in complete agreement with the fans that think that. This is a good opportunity for him, to be able to take down John Cena at such a big pay-per-view after John Cena has had such a killer year so far. John Cena is on a tear as far as his win-loss and pay-per-view record and all the things he's accomplished this year. So, for Daniel Bryan to be able to defeat him, there's going to have to be some fucking nonsense going on in this match. I don't think either guy is going to be able to come out of this match with a clean victory because I expect to see a rematch. I say if John Cena ends up winning, it's because there's a distraction of some kind. Daniel Bryan is taken off of his game. He's got John Cena down. He's got him beat. Something happens. Maybe a Bella fucking distracts him or some shit like that. I don't think there's going to be any outside interference unless, the Shield or Wyatt family or something like that gets involved. But anyway, something's going to happen to Daniel Bryan where he gets a little bit distracted. John Cena takes advantage, hits him with the fucking FU or whatever, and gets the pin, and the fans shit their pants. Or they do that exact same finish but switch the guys. A Bella could be distracting John Cena because as we saw on the fucking Divas show, now everybody knows about John Cena and whatever fucking Bella he's dating. It would be nice to see some sort of swerve or something you didn't see coming in this main event. So all in all, I just hope that it's a good match. John Cena, he's been involved in some good matches. Yes, Daniel Bryan's going to be driving this car. Daniel Bryan is going to, really have to work hard to make Cena look so good. A lot of guys are good at doing that, but Cena is capable. And you're a fucking moron if you think that he's not. And I think him and Daniel Bryan are going to go out there and have a pretty good match. We all know that Cena is no Eddie Guerrero, okay? We fucking established that. But I bet you anything, at the end of the SummerSlam match, especially if Daniel Bryan wins, there's going to be a lot of match of the year talk and shit like that. So Cena seems to be involved in a lot of those. For a guy that can't wrestle, Cena has been candidate for match of the year many, many times. There, have you had enough of me spewing out all of my non-John Cena hate? And also, why don't you ask Daniel Bryan if John Cena is holding him back? Fucking idiots. Let's move on to the other big match at SummerSlam. Brock Lesnar and CM Punk. We saw CM Punk do a run-in on Raw and beat the piss out of Curtis Axel, basically sending a message to Brock Lesnar that he's ready for him at SummerSlam. I'm really looking forward to the next 2 weeks leading up to the pay-per-view. I think Brock is booked for both, so we should have some really good interactions starting next Monday or at the very latest the week after on some live Raws. CM Punk, by the way, from what I've read, is pretty banged up, so I hope they're keeping him pretty much limited on house shows. I don't know what his schedule is right now. I know they're all overseas. They're all probably working hard, but I hope he's 100% and good to go for SummerSlam because, I think this match could be a show stealer. This could be the best opponent that Brock Lesnar has had yet. I really did not. His Triple H matches were okay, but, I do like that style, but I didn't like seeing it twice, and I really didn't like seeing it 3 times. And I was really ready for Brock Lesnar to take on another opponent, and this is a smaller guy, faster, quicker than Cena and Triple H, and this is going to be, probably the most exciting match that we've seen Brock Lesnar have, since he was in WWE previously, because his John Cena match, as good as it was just a brutal beatdown. People loved it, but, I think the CM Punk Brock Lesnar match could have a few more spots in it, and, CM Punk is going to have to, rely on his quickness and athleticism to make this thing good. It can't be that slow, methodical pace that Triple H and Brock Lesnar had. This has to be a different pace of a match, and I think there's got to be a lot of distance between CM Punk and Brock Lesnar. CM Punk's got to do a lot of flying around, a lot of moving around. If he starts grappling with the guy, it's not going to look right. It's going to look like an overmatched, unfair fight where Brock Lesnar just pins him in the corner and just, he's just going to do that. He's going to pin CM Punk in. He's going to nail him with shoulders and forearms and knees and, just pin him in the corner and just beat the crap out of him. CM Punk's going to have to get out of that situation. He's going to have to duck a running move of Brock Lesnar of some kind and get out of the way and start kicking and moving and doing all that. He's going to be doing a lot of diving on top ropes and a lot of flying around. So I'm hoping the match is good and entertaining. I hope we see a little juice. We probably won't. It's SummerSlam. It's LA. It's the big stage. So, we probably won't see any, but I still think the match can be good without it. And at the very least, as long as Punk's body can take it and his injuries can hold up, I wouldn't mind seeing him dive off the top rope onto the table on top of Brock Lesnar either. It seems like this match is just begging for a spot like that. So, you know, I think that this match, I'm hoping at the end of the pay-per-view between CM Punk and Lesnar and Daniel Bryan and Cena, Punk and Bryan really help make this show special. You know, they got the two big-time opponents in Lesnar and Cena, you know, but it's up to the challengers in this to really make these matches what we all want to see. It's up to Punk and Bryan. I've always thought the fans, especially the Cena-hating fans, grossly underestimate how heavily the WWE relies on guys like Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. You know, they're all so worried about who the champion is and who has the spotlight, they're not really seeing who the true players on the team are. These guys are consistently being trusted with main event spots and main event money. You know, if they're not always champion, CM Punk was champion for a year and a half. What the fuck else do you want, man? The WWE appreciates these guys. They don't treat them like shit just because they have the belt on John Cena. It's business. Speaking of business, all of the John Cena preaching I do, I need to remember that when I bash this fucking Divas show that I goddamn hate. I've seen about 3 minutes of it. That's all I'm willing to watch. A lot of people said, hey, I should check it out. Don't be so close-minded. Give it a look. It's a nice way to spotlight the WWE and the Divas. This is not the kind of spotlight I want. I'm sorry. I know I might just be sounding a little bit hypocritical or something. There's just some things that rub me entirely the wrong way, and I just don't fucking like them. And I really don't give a shit what my reasons are. I just don't like it. I'm not a fan of the Divas show. I hate reality television. There's nothing reality about it at all. When I tell everybody to stop freaking out about John Cena because it's just business, and if you can't see why the WWE continues to push this guy, then you are a retard, I have to remember that exact same advice when I think about this Divas show. It's just business. The WWE is just doing what they do. You know, I have to be able to separate, like all of you do, yesterday from today. And I get on everybody about the John Cena hate because you have to understand that the business is so much different today than it was. Reasons for guys being pushed and guys given spots is completely different than it was back in the day. You could give drug addict, lazy, selfish assholes titles 20 years ago. You can't do that today. You have to have somebody that's willing to take on the challenge, take on the schedule, be a team player, and be the face of the company and get up every fucking day at 5 o'clock in the morning and work a 12-hour day plus a match and still find time to work out and have a personal life. Basically, you do not sleep. That was not like that back in the day. Same goes for this Divas show. It's just different. The WWE is trying to come up with ways to give the Divas division more exposure, give the company more exposure, and to see them in a different light. This is just what they do. This is why they do movies now and all other sorts of stuff. Vince has always had ideas like this. Fucking XFL and WBF and, Tough Enoughs and all these different shows that they do. The problem is I just have such a very intense dislike for stuff like the Kardashians and the Real Housewives. And literally the hundreds of other similar reality shows that are out there that are not reality. They're staged nonsense. I've watched a reality show being taped before with my own eyes. Nothing is fucking real about it at all. The cameras are there. They do retakes. They do reshoots. They all plan to be at the same place at the same time for the cameras to be there. Nothing is by chance. It's all done for the cameras. And the 2 minutes of this fucking Diva show that I saw, you see the Bellas are getting all fucking uppity, about some new girl, that cunt that we saw on Raw that was a fucking bitch in the ring or whatever, and they're mad at her. Oh, is she prettier than me? Oh my God, is she prettier than me? Like, oh my God, how can you fucking people watch this shit? But they look like idiots on this TV show. I just don't like the WWE superstars or divas or whoever being shown in this light. I think reality television is filthy. I think it's disgusting, and I don't think there's anything real about it at all. And if the Divas weren't bad enough actors as it was, they're going to be really bad actors on this. But luckily, they're in an ocean of bad actors when it comes to reality TV. And on top of that, it's women. And all women are such bitches and cunts to each other, and they fucking hate each other. And it's just such a big drama-filled catfight. I can't imagine how they're even able to manage all of these girls, and all these feelings and all these egos and all these emotions and hormones and all this shit, being able to manage them and keep them all, they all hate each other. You've seen it on Twitter. They're all fucking at each other's throats. They cannot get along. Women are a million times worse than men. Wrestlers get pissed about wrestling stuff. Hey, you fucking missed a spot in the ring. Let's argue about it and slap each other around backstage in the locker room and have a beer later on after and apologize, and it's all under the bridge. Women, they fucking take this shit so seriously. It's so crazy. And now they're trying to smear this stuff on TV, and of all networks, the E! Network, come on. And it really sickens me what Americans find entertaining on TV. So, you know, if anything, I don't want this show to necessarily fail because I don't want the Divas or anybody else to look dumber than they already do. But at the same time, I hope it doesn't last either. But I understand why they're doing it. It's definitely a good idea. You know, these Divas, which one was it? When one of the Bellas said that she was a veteran, I went blind in my left eye and I still can't see. Are you fucking kidding me? This is the type of shit that an old-timer, an old-school wrestling watcher, or an old-school wrestler would literally puke at the sight of. It's just horrifying. So it's just one of those things, one of those, evolutionary processes of the business that it goes on, and sometimes you see something that you just never would have seen. I couldn't imagine the fabulous Moolah getting pissed when Leilani Kai came into the WWE and said, is she prettier than me? You know, like, what the fuck? Who fucking cares? You know, it's just this stupid, trivial shit. It's nonsense, and these divas look stupid. And, I'm just not a fan of women's wrestling. I'm sorry. I think these are all beautiful girls. They're all sweethearts. You know, a lot of them are probably good-hearted people deep down. Some of them are probably filthy bitches deep down. Probably the only one that I really truly love is little Natty Neidhart, who was just her and Tyson Kidd just got, who was pretty much a Hart kid himself. They just got married, and I think that's so perfect. Tyson's in the Hart family like he always should have been anyway, so fantastic. But I'm sorry, this is going to be one issue where I'm going to be a complete close-minded pig. I am not going to watch a minute of this Divas show, and you know what? I'm going to complain about it anyway, and you're just going to have to fucking listen to it. I don't like it, I want nothing to do with it, and I'm going to let you guys know how much I don't like it. I don't care what happens on the show. I don't care if something really great happens, and you say, hey, good mic work, you should see this. I'm not going to watch it. So I think that's it for this week. I know there's a lot more we could have talked about, but I'm really going to wait and reserve comment on that until the next live Raw, and that way a lot more stuff is going to happen, and they're going to fill in a lot of blanks with SummerSlam. So we're going to know a lot more in about a week, and I'll try to be up here next week if I can after the live Raw and, give you guys my updated feelings on what we're looking at for the pay-per-view. Also, keep a lookout later on this week. There is going to be a Good Mic Work special episode coming to you, about 20 minutes long. I think you're really going to like it. And it's something similar to what I did earlier this year. So until then, good mic work. The John Cena Dick Rider wishes you a pleasant evening. Peace.